Now, when it comes to JID, well, if you are ready to witness how we are about to see another MC get involved with all of the competition in hip hop and start even more rap beef, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And now, truly, as the run that JID is starting to go on is trying to get him closer to the Kendrick Lamars and Pusha T's of the rap game right now than any other MC right now, be sure to leave that like. And now, with that said, well, right now with JID, well, in this time and moment in hip hop where lyricism is getting more important by the day and a lot of rappers are starting to show how much they want the throne, well, for JID, as he just teamed up with Offset for his track Bodies, what JID has proved on this song with one of the best and most captivating features of the entire year is that he is on a mission, and with this, what he is trying to show literally every rapper is that he is one of the best MCs, and he wants everybody to know that despite whatever has been going on behind the scenes with all of the drama in Dreamville and even his own career, is that as the best lyricists and competitors are changing hip-hop right now, like Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T, well, with an album coming and music ready to go, JID is trying to join these ranks, even if it means stepping over someone like the own head of his label, who has been pretty inactive this year in J. Cole, and really now, from the return of JID finally being here to how he is talking on this track, what is more clear than ever is that when you sit down and listen to this verse and see how in a rap game that has never been more competitive, JID is sending all of these warnings in an era where MCs are getting ready to beef and just show off their pen. Well, with all of this, what we are seeing is that JID is so hungry to be great in this era where more names are crashing out by the day. And again, with how he is talking here and the heights he is trying to reach, JID is bound to get into some sort of a beef at this point. And now, before we go any further into why this is and what this is all going to mean for both him and the entire rap game, because the consequences are going to be that big, if you have not already, be sure to leave that like and subscribe so we can hit 100,000 subscribers. We are so close. And with that said, well, now when we look at the new song that JID is a part of in this Offset collab titled Bodies, when we break down what JID is trying to do, what you'll start to see is that to his own level and in every way he can possibly affect, he is pretty much trying to follow the Kendrick Lamar blueprint, just in terms of the fact that he is trying to present and put himself within a place as an MC where he is dominating every single one of rap's major categories. And now I say this because with an album on deck, a feature run in the making which started here, and with what he is saying in the rhymes themselves, again, with how commanding and captivating this all is, JID is currently rapping like his career is on the line, and at that, he is willing to go against any MC to prove that. Because now seriously, for JID on this new track that he has dropped with Offset, which is a great and refreshing record in a rap game where we are seeing so many just fall off every single week with how random and bad the songs and collabs they are releasing are, well, within this banger, in JID's verse and the entire section of his track, with the aura and even the sense of urgency within the exact way he is rhyming, the message that the entire rap game just received is that in this era where the best MCs are all sparring with one another and the very best are making classic rap albums with the art of bars in a way that the entire genre is getting around more than it has been in years, well, JID may be the hungriest person to try and prove himself and dominate because of this very opening in hip-hop since Kendrick Lamar, as both with his album on deck and then with the way he is talking here. Well, truly for JID, if he was trying to create a moment that put him on the board right now and is making people now take him as just as serious of a competitor as any of the other elite wordsmiths out, well, he has done that and some, because just with the way the conversation is turning around this new song and how people are pushing this idea that JID can rap better than 99.9% of his competition, well, now in a rap game where entire beefs have started simply off one MC not liking how another is being treated for their display of skill and greatness, like with everything that happened with Joey and Kendrick Lamar and then Ray Vaughn and all those guys. Well, speaking of this, we are already seeing some rappers push back on this idea and even try to diss him straight up, and now just as this moment is getting bigger and bigger and MCs are getting involved in the discussions around JID, well, with this, JID's place in the rap power rankings are only going up, and at that, up to a level where everyone is gonna have to acknowledge him, and as a result of just how competitive the game is all getting, somebody really may end up getting in a lyrical back and forth with him. Otherwise, he is just gonna soar up regardless if nobody contests him, if the rest of what he does in this chapter in terms of his album coming and whatever else he releases is anywhere near as good as the verse he just put out with Offset. And so now when we look into what JID is truly doing and really look into some of the bars here, which again, in this era where rappers are crashing out, it almost seems like it was designed to get somebody to just come at him. Well, now while it's clear that JID is ready for any sort of beef and will be able to spar with anybody to show show that he is one of the best MCs out. While some may think it is just for competition, truly with this, the stakes are so much bigger, because when we look beyond the music and his skill and see the way he has been moving behind the scenes, and at that, his distance from Dreamville as a whole in general since he dropped the Forever story, and also how long it has taken him to follow up a really successful era of his career, which ended up giving him an album that was considered a classic by some, and that gave him one of the biggest songs during an entire moment in time with surround sound. Well, with all of this and seeing how long it has taken JID to get back out here, and really, to be honest, how still Dreamville has failed to support him right now in terms of building a proper rollout for his record, and instead, well, with the label not helping him, he is clearly trying to use a moment like this, and will probably do this before the record comes out again to try and get all of the exposure and hype he needs, which has clearly worked and was a great move on his end. Well, with all of this, which again, I am not even covering half the story here, what has really became clear is that things between JID and Dreamville, and really Dreamville and all of their artists, are not that great, and I am sure that when this record comes out, we will find out a lot more about this. And I do think that when this record comes out, we will ultimately see that just like a lot of other rappers who were on labels that did not really prioritize them, or they just had issues with after a long run, we will see JID depart from this label again, just like other members have, because this label's truly been a mess, which was what we saw with Ari Lennox recently. And again, when we understand how JID has not been on the best terms with the people who were supposed to represent him and make him a star in the rap game, when we look at everything from this angle and see how JID is really trying to make a classic album by himself and with his own label against him in a way, well, with what JID is doing here, from the bars to the way he is representing himself to how he is now trying to deliver rap's next modern classic album really after GNX, well, again, JID is not just trying to save his career from a failing label, but he is jumping as high as he possibly can, and he is trying to enter that Kendrick Lamar conversation and put himself in a place where if Kendrick is the #1 in the rap game, then JID has to be the #2. And I mean, while I am sure this is a coincidence, even with JID being a part of a song called Bodies, which is gaining all this momentum and traction for him, when of course we are all waiting for Kendrick Lamar to drop a song which he has teased of presumably the same name, it's at least a little ironic in a way. And I do think that after hearing JID in this era, what we can say at the very least is that if any rapper could do anything just a little bit formidable against Kendrick Lamar, which of course in terms of how legendary what Kendrick is doing, all I am saying is that it would just be formidable in the sense that instead of losing in a rap series in 4 games, he would lose in 5, to put it in basketball or sports terms. Well, with this, I think while JID has a clear respect for Kendrick Lamar, as he has been seen going to his Big Steppers tour and having great things to say about him in the past, and even recently when he has been at odds with people like Dreamville. Even still with this, while JID respects Kendrick highly and does not actually want to get into any sort of beef with him like someone even in Joey's case clearly wants to, still what JID is really trying to do by this is not actually beef with Kendrick Lamar, but put himself within a place where he ends out this chapter by letting everybody know that he is the guy who we all thought that J. Cole was, and who at the very least can at least stand near the best rappers in the game and do great things on his own, while also building himself up with a reputation as a guy who can compete with any rapper. And truly with this, what really JID is doing, and what the big play on his end is going to be, is now to really just jump over J. Cole and get away from Dreamville, who has held him back clearly and already is the reason why this conversation has not changed any sooner in terms of just where he ranks in the entirety of hip-hop right now. And as an extension of this, JID wants to prove that he is the best rapper on the label and not Cole, and that again, and going forward in one of the most pivotal eras for rap and music that we have seen in quite some time, not Cole, but JID will be a leader of the genre, whether anybody wants to help him or not, just off the merit of both his artistry as a lyricist and hip-hop visionary, and just the skill he has as a competitor. And really for JID, you have to respect what he is doing, because for him this is bigger than so much else, because at the end of the day, after having a career-defining run to this point with everything he did after being at a stage where up until now he was pretty much shelved by Dreamville, and even in this era, again, clearly the label is still not doing everything they can to make sure everybody knows what's actually coming. Well, for JID, is the only way he can get in a better situation is going to be by getting that pen to work and making moments that everybody is going to have to keep their attention on overall. Well, if this is what JID needs to do, he clearly just made a strong welcoming statement for what's to come on this new track, and it's so clear that he is ready for any sort of competition that may come his way, and he really may even have a classic album waiting to drop at the end of this. And so really, I say all of this now to just let the rap game know to be ready for JID, because right now, as he is trying to get to Kendrick Lamar's level and really away from J. Cole to any other MC out, Well, truly, with what's about to happen, I think based on the trajectory JID is showing and how ready he is for this moment, both in terms of the words he is saying and the excellence already behind him, well, really, no matter who gets called out and who ends up messing with JID in this time, he is going to make this chapter that we are in hip-hop even more competitive than we have already seen. And so now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about JID's new track, the statement and message he is trying to make, and what MC do you think he would be best fitted to be in a competition with right now? Well, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this and what you think about JID in terms of how he ranks against the rest of the rap game in this era that is starting to truly get competitive. And now if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now if you want to see how right before this, well, we just got word that Travis Scott may be responding to Pusha T, and it will be in a way that nobody could have expected. Check out the suggested video.